Okay, so let's talk about Atlanta, episode 1 of season 3. And I've already made a TikTok talking, well, sort of about it, but I really want to get into it right now in this video. So let's get on with it right now. So the episode pretty much is like nothing to do predominantly with Earn and everybody else, but I think the overall theme of it will stretch into this season for sure, as it's all very much so within a dream of sorts, because let's just get into it first. So, very first scene for this in the cold opening, was two men fishing, one black man, one white man, and pretty much they're in this lake late at night. It's dark, and they're just talking about how it feels haunting and eerie being out in this lake late at night and wondering what is going on, right? So the white man actually tells him that there is actually a town that used to be here a while back, and this is actually a real life lake called Lake Lanier, and there was actually a huge, well, pretty big community of African Americans there at a point before there was this big conflict that happened in 1912, where they pretty much like took them all out of there. Like, I think it was over 1,000 of them that were taken out. So in 1912, there was this big conflict that very much so happened here in Lake Lanier. And one of the big things was that out of this conflict, I'll definitely link it down below if you want to read more into it. But due to this conflict, there were these night riders that came out here and sort of started intimidating a lot of the black inhabitants here. And pretty much, I think 98% of the black inhabitants had to move out due to these night riders coming out here. So very fucked up shit, in my opinion, that this happened to a lot of people, that they had to leave their homes, sell it at a lesser discount, and just very much so have to start over due to these night riders coming out here. So I'll leave a link below. We could definitely talk about it more in another video, but we're just talking about the episode right now. So I'll leave the link below if you want to go more into it, but fucked up situation all around. So then we pretty much get that this is haunted due to a lot of the things that went down here, the energy and all of that. And we do see that the man telling the story actually turns out to be some ghoul, and that's how that ends. It's sort of a nightmare though, because the kid wakes up and he was just dreaming about this. Now the next part of the story deals with a kid at school, and when he learns that his school is getting tickets to go see Black Panther 2, we see them recreate the viral video that went viral when the school actually also got tickets to go see Black Panther, and you saw the kid get up and start dancing. So I really love how Atlanta likes to incorporate these real life events into the story that they're telling. He does actually, though, get in trouble in the show, which didn't happen in real life, but in the show he gets in trouble, gets his parents called and all of that, which leads to one of the people there trying to take the kid away from his family because they feel that he is being abused. And so they actually end up having Child Protective Services come about and take the kid. Now, this is where things start to sort of click to me about what story they're actually telling, because we actually see that after taking the kid from the mother, they actually take the kid to a lesbian white couple who are actually raising other black children as well. And from the get-go, you can tell that shit isn't right around here. It looks like they're very much so not really taking care of the kids and are sort of on this like last leg financially as well, and they pretty much don't care about them. And we see it throughout the show, how they're very much so like whatever about them and just feeding them all this crap and stuff. At a point, the kid does see a police officer, and this is when it clicked what they were actually talking about in the show, because he was wearing a fedora, and he goes up to the officer and hugs him during a farmer's market and asks him that he wants to go home. Now, this is very much so talking about the case of the Hart family, who actually ended up killing themselves and all of the adopted children they had by driving off a cliff. And also with the boy hugging the officer, it is the exact same way we saw the photos that went viral back during the Ferguson protests, and it actually happened in Portland, where we saw Devonte Hart actually hugging an officer while he was carrying a free hugs sign that we actually see the boy in the show as well carry. And so right off the bat there, we were just like, this isn't going to end well. And yes, as the show progresses, we do see a caseworker come as she is trying to figure out what exactly is going on in this home. And she wants to help the children, but eventually one of the other moms, if you want to call them that, come over here and just very much so kill her. Off screen, of course, we find out later she did kill her as we see her body, and then we see them driving. And once we saw them driving, we knew what was coming, and it was just like, damn, we're really about to see this. Although in real life this ended tragically, they do give a shining moment in this show where the kids do actually manage to escape and the two women actually end up killing themselves and not the kids. And we see the boy go back to his mother, and he turns on the news and sees that his siblings, well, adopted siblings for the time, actually ended up being saved as well. And then he goes about his normal day life. So very much so, this was something that I think was very, very hard hitting. Definitely a story that I don't think has been talked about as much as it should be, and definitely raises a lot of questions about the system that we have in place right now and how much work it does need as well. And I really do appreciate that this was actually brought into this first episode. I think because as being the first episode, it always has the most eyes on it. And I think that for them to put this as the first episode was really great and really does give a good view into the type of system that we have in place now. So yeah, this was actually based on a real life case as well. I'll leave it down below more if you want to read some other articles or more into it as well. And it's very triggering stuff, honestly, once you start going into it. So like I said, view at your own discretion if you want, but it was a pretty big deal. But then it sort of like got like, I feel like, swept after everything. And I mean, that's the thing with today's society. There's so many headlines coming out every single day that a lot of things do get lost. But I think this is an important one that should not get lost, should be talked about more. And I appreciate that this is what we're getting from Atlanta, and they're really giving us the commentary we need on it as well. So I do believe the two stories definitely very much so tied together. I think that with everything going on, especially still today, this is the conversations we need to be having, and I'm excited to see what else this season explores. I'll definitely talk about episode 2 and 3 together. I just wanted to do one video on the first episode, but the rest of this episode for season 2 was very much so more back to the Atlanta story we were being told in season 2. So I'm excited to see what they bring up next, and definitely will be making some more videos week to week. So let me know your thoughts and opinions on this first episode of Atlanta. I will be talking about the other 2 episodes this week as well, so stay tuned for that. But like I said, very hard to watch, very unsettling, and just like as I said, once you know it's based on a true story and that story didn't end with a happy ending, definitely hits you a little harder. So yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions. But as always, that's going to do it for me. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel for more on the things you love about pop culture. Make sure you turn on that notification bell. As always, I'll see all of you next time. Stay safe, stay positive.